What's up, graphics gang, and welcome back to Cryptographics. The PulseChain launch is imminent. We're asking the question, which token or tokens should you hold going into the PulseChain launch? So the free copy, let's start here. As most of you may know by now, when PulseChain mainnet goes live, anyone holding any token on the Ethereum network will get a duplicate on PulseChain in their wallet the moment it is live. Check out my last video for the latest on the expected launch date, as well as my other videos for a more in-depth discussion and look at what PulseChain is. We're just going to cover what the concept and what the topic is here today. We're not going to go elaborate on exactly what PulseChain is here. So let's continue. Unfortunately, not all communities are completely on board the PulseChain movement, or certain tokens like stablecoins may be unable to hold their value relative to their Ethereum counterpart. The major tokens. Holders of thousands of ERC20 tokens, including Wrapped Bitcoin, Chainlink, FTX, Uniswap, Cronos, Decentraland, Shiba Inu, and the Sandbox, just to name a few, will all get their tokens copied. Holders of NFTs, like the Bored Ape Yacht Club, for example, will also get a copy of that NFT on the PulseChain, which I will only touch on slightly later in the video. So why should you hold something specific? Well, when it comes to the launch of PulseChain, there are many variables and moving parts that could make the price of assets on PulseChain be higher or lower than its Ethereum counterpart. In order for these new PulseChain tokens to have any real-world value, tokens from Ethereum must be bridged over and paired with a PulseChain token in a liquidity pool in order for there to be a dollar value associated with it, and consequently other tokens also on the network. So one thing that is impossible to say for sure, though, is the exact value of tokens once dollar value has been bridged over. There are many theories as to what will happen to the price of tokens on PulseChain, but nobody knows for sure. Not you, not I, not anyone. One factor that I believe is most relevant is the size of the community and its engagement with PulseChain so far. The main factor. Having a large token community that is both knowledgeable of PulseChain and actively awaiting its launch is a major indicator of how that token may perform on the PulseChain side after launch. Let's do a quick social media search to see what communities seem to be engaging with PulseChain the most. So to start out the social media search, we're going to start on Twitter here. And as you can see, I've got hashtag PulseChain at the top here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to scroll down and take a look at what other words or what types of people from which communities are generally speaking about PulseChain at the moment. So I'm just going to scroll. I'm not going to pick anything out, but I want you to just pay attention here to the different hashtags as we go through, and you'll start to get an idea of the communities or community that is mainly involved, or even the lack of communities which you might see. So here you can see there's we got Hex. Let's see, we got some more Hex stuff. So as you can see, there's a little bit of a recurring theme going on here. And I mean, this is the thing. We're only about 29 minutes out, and you can keep going and going and going and going. And I encourage you to do this for yourself. Don't just take the 2 seconds that I'm showing you on the screen here and assuming that this is all you're going to see. What I think you're seeing is relevant, but there's always more to learn about the situation. So we could sit here all day and just scroll and scroll and scroll, but let's go over to look at some of the other communities. Now, we mentioned Shiba Inu, so let's go to the SHIB Army Twitter. Let's take a quick look to see if there's any relevant tweets that are talking about or that are engaging with PulseChain. So right away, we can see the last tweet was, this is literally last year. Well, this is this year. Okay, so this is pinned from last year, so we're going to ignore that. We had January 14th from this year was the last tweet. And lots has happened in regards to PulseChain since then. And I don't see anything here in regards to PulseChain. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Doesn't mean it's not being talked about within the army themselves, within the SHIB army, or within other parts of the community. But let's move on to Decentraland now. And we're just touching on a few people here. We're not going to go through everyone. There's thousands and thousands of different ERC20 communities. So we're not going to touch. We're just going to, just for the sake of example, really, we're going to go through some of these. So this is Decentraland, and if we just go through here, see if they have anything talking about the PulseChain. It's not looking like anything. No, that's not even them, not them. They don't really seem to be talking about, I mentioned, no, it's the retweet for the metaverse stuff. They don't really seem to be talking about PulseChain at all. Okay, fair enough. Let's go to FTX for a sec here. And let's just scroll for a minute. And guys, like I said, come do this for yourself. I'm only going to touch on this. Go dive in deeper than I will in this video. But as you can see, we're not really seeing a whole lot. Not a whole lot. I mean, they post a lot of stuff in here, so we have to cruise for a little while before I'm sure we'd find something, but I'm sure, which maybe is in there. But without going too deep on the Twitter side, I think it's safe that we can agree that this seems at first glance like there is a given community. Where is it here? Maybe this little 3-letter word that so far is the standout. So let's go over to Google Trends and look at what's happening on the trends. So we can see that PulseX, this red line here, is trending upward. And it's started to spike. I mean, it basically came into existence somewhere around October to December, and people roughly started talking about it. But then as the sacrifice period went up, it spiked. So did Richard Hart's searching. And what you can see here is that currently Hex is a little lower than everything else. But what's interesting is if you look at previous trends, the last time Hex pumped up to its all-time high was right around August 9th, 8th, 9th, 10th is when that started. So what we can see is there's a downward trend, obviously, in the searching. And as it started to move upward, that increased. So what I'm expecting here is as we get closer to the pulse chain, I do believe that we will see maybe not to this scale, maybe more to this scale, or even more fairly put, to this scale, where this is August 9th right here. So this pump where we went from here all the way up top here to somewhere around the 50-something cent range, wherever that is, that was from August 9th is the bottom there before we went upwards. So what I'm implying here is that the search for Hex is low right now, but I do not think that that is going to be a permanent thing. If we look at historically, the Hex searching goes up as the price goes up. And as PulseChain gets closer, we should also see a nice little increase in that as people notice the price moving up. So let's continue on here. And let's go search up PulseChain on YouTube real quick. So this is not refreshed. Let's refresh it real quick. And so let's just take a note here of what we're seeing on YouTube in regards to PulseChain. So see that keyword. We know who Trayvon is. We know who Jimrad is. We know who Liquid Loans are. We know who Crypto7 is. We know who Rags is. Pulse Abides. These are all familiar names. A Million to the Moon, or A Million or the Moon. Pulse Radio app. We got a big Hex logo there. I'm seeing, I don't know about you, but hey, look who that is. It's us. We did it, guys. We made the page. Let's see here. Look, we got, you can see Hex. We got Hex. We got Hex. This is Shiba Inu there. There's one for Shiba Inu. Let's see here. So we're kind of getting a rough idea of what it's looking like as far as PulseChain searches on YouTube. But let's keep going. Let's go to Reddit and just make sure we're not skipping anything. And let's take a quick little scroll. Let's see. And so this is also using the keyword PulseChain here. I've just done hashtag PulseChain, see what comes up. So Crypto Moonshots, we got talking about Floki or something. Okay, that's one for an alternative coin to Hex. But keep going. Just seeing the same stuff. Hex Crypto, PulseChain. All from the same forum, really. Oh, there's a SHIB talk. Okay, let's go there. Let's see. Who is this by? Oh, it's by Hex Token. Okay, well, it's a Hex creator that's bringing the SHIB army on. Okay, interesting. Noted. So what I think you guys are seeing, like me, is that there's a specific pattern as to the community that is heavily involved with PulseChain. So let's go back over to the slides and let's keep going now that we've gone over some data and some analytics. And now that we have a little bit of a different understanding or a better understanding of the community that's mainly involved with PulseChain. So the PulseChain engagement. What we clearly see is that there are few communities outside one particular community that is poised and ready to utilize PulseChain. SHIB, or Shiba Inu, seems to be in the know of PulseChain, but not actively promoting it. Many others are seemingly ignoring it, or as it seems, really. They may not be. Maybe it's more under the surface, but it seems as though they're ignoring it, or putting it off at least. So, also, those stablecoins do not have a community per se, which I guess technically they do within the centralized company, but let's just ignore that. We'll consider them a non-community coin. Please go watch my video on stablecoins in regards to the PulseChain fork. Like, I do not believe for a second that holding stablecoins for the airdrop is a safe bet in regards to retaining value after the fork with that free copy. So what seems like the best bet then for the PulseChain copy? Well, you might have guessed it, Hex. So let's lay out the case for Hex though. because we want to be objective here. And not just because I or anyone else likes Hex more than another coin, but just objectively speaking, let's speak about why it makes sense. So the founder of PulseChain, Richard Hart, is also the founder of Hex and PulseX. He created this PulseChain specifically for the Hex community, which is why the main community that will be poised and ready for the PulseChain will be the Hex community. You do not have to believe in Hex long-term to understand the short-term ramifications of Hex on PulseChain. Another point to note is that Hex is on 102,263 people's watch list on CoinMarketCap. What this points to potentially, and only potentially, this is pure speculation, but it's food for thought, is people waiting for an opportune time to get in. And this opportune time could be in relation to how much it costs in ETH gas fees, meaning people are priced out on Ethereum and waiting for cheaper fees on PulseChain. This is speculation, like I was saying. However, many of the major complaints I've repeatedly seen on Twitter that prevents people from buying Hex are the gas fees on ETH. So, if gas fees are no longer an issue on PulseChain, it is also possible that those investors who are not willing to spend the money on Ethereum will finally invest on the PulseChain side. Again, this is speculation, but is based on real-world evidence, but still speculation. So, if we look historically, at times when there has been a big event thought to be approaching or approaching a sacrifice, the price has gone up for Hex. This does not mean it will stay up permanently, but what it does mean is that if price goes up on Hex due to the hype around PulseChain launch and the free copies, then not only will your original investment be worth more than you put in, but the copy is likely to be around or higher its price on Ethereum. If the price of Hex goes up because of the launch of PulseChain and your copy of Hex is around or above parity, you will have a very large amount of free funds to use to swap for other tokens if you so chose, or consequently, or alternatively, sorry, if you didn't want to do that and you want to just hold your bag, you have a gigantic bag of Hex that you got for free as a duplicate now, which is just a massive bonus. So based on all the indicators, Hex objectively seems to be the #1 choice to hold, even temporarily going into PulseChain. Does not mean long-term it's the best, whether you're like me and you do believe in it or not. Temporarily, it seems like it is the best choice to hold going into PulseChain. So all in all for the tokens, this is not financial advice, nor is it the be-all, end-all in regards to what token to hold. There are many surprises that we have in store in regards to adoption, so please do your own research. Even if you do decide to place your money in Hex or any other token specifically for the airdrop, you can always move that back to your original investment afterwards on either chains or both. I'm not saying for a moment that another token aside from Hex is not safe, but what I am saying is that Hex seems like the best bet to maximize the use of the PulseChain airdrop. Do your own research, please. Do not trust some random guy on the internet that you don't know. A quick note on NFTs, like I promised as well. Something to be aware of is that if you have an NFT on OpenSea at the time of the fork, which is for sale for 1 ETH, for example, it will only cost 1 PLS token valued around the $0.001 approximately mark to purchase that copy on the PulseChain side. So it may be wise to remove your NFTs from OpenSea before the fork, as people could take advantage of this opportunity and you could get drastically less value for your NFT on PulseChain than maybe it's actually worth. NFTs in your wallet will simply be copied over without any risk. It's just the NFTs that will be on any platform that are for sale. For more on NFTs on PulseChain, tune in this Saturday with special guest Steak and Apes for an in-depth discussion and an NFT giveaway. And don't go anywhere because we're going to talk about another giveaway at the end of this stream before we go. So thank you for watching. We just broke 6,000 Graphics Gang members. It's just blowing my mind. I know we keep saying this almost every time as a crazy new total, but thank you guys. This is amazing. And if you want to support the channel, there are YouTube memberships. There are one-on-one booking sessions for consultation and coaching you. You can buy hoodies or t-shirts from the website. There's a donation link in the bottom of the description. If you'd like to support the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm trying to make this my gig, my full-time job, if you will, or what I do. And so that would mean the world to me if you help me achieve that so I can help you as well. The giveaway that I'm referring to as well is also a one-on-one session with me. We're doing 3 sessions a week for the entire month of May. So that means 12 total hours I'm giving away to coach you all you got to do is you got to go to Twitter, which the link will be in the description for the tweet. You go there, you follow me, comment, and retweet it, and you'll be entered in the draw for the entire month of May. Also, guys, there's scammers in the comments. Ignore them. It's, please, if it doesn't have my highlighted cryptographics, if it says anything other than that for the name, it's not me, and I'm not talking to you. So without further ado, though, if you've enjoyed the video and you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button. I would love to hear your thoughts, and if I missed anything, if you think any alternative tokens would be better than Hex, whatever you're thinking, let's talk. And please, and finally, guys, smash that subscribe button. Let's get to 10,000 subscribers as soon as we can. So thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you very soon. Peace.